Hi, I'm here with Alexa Wandy, who's recently back from the Olympic trials in Eugene, Oregon. Alexa, could you talk a little bit about your experience out in Eugene?
Going out to Eugene was absolutely unreal. I was definitely super excited to be able to make it. That was really my end goal for the season. So getting there was a huge accomplishment for me. Um, and just being there surrounded by so many of the top athletes in the country was very inspiring and also a little nerve wracking, but just like the energy in Hayward Field and really getting to walk in there for the first time and walk through that tunnel and see everything was just breathtaking. I really enjoyed my week that I was out there.
Great. How did you get started in track and field?
So I actually started track and field my senior year of high school. I had recently stopped doing gymnastics, and I had a friend convince me that I was going to love track, and I had all this new free time, so decided to give it a try. And I enjoyed it so much that I decided to ask my college that I was going to if I could be on their team as well. So
And that college was SUNY Geneseo, correct?
yes, SUNY
Yeah.
Geneseo for my 4 years.
Okay, great. Well, I'm sure they were very fortunate that you decided to compete at Geneseo, given the success that you had there.
Yeah, it was. I absolutely loved my 4 years there. The team was fantastic, and it was fun to watch both myself and my teammates kind of grow over those 4 years and develop. Like the training plan that we had in place was fantastic.
Okay. I know that you compete in Eugene in the triple jump, and I know I've also seen you long jump and compete in the sprints. Kind of what drew you to the jumps?
So I didn't actually triple jump until the very end of my sophomore year of college. It was a little bit of a two-pronged approach to it. The first being that my long jump and 400 were not quite going to plan, and I was definitely struggling to stay mentally in it, and was looking for something new to do. And I liked the idea of triple jump being bouncy and being a former gymnast. And then the second half was going into our conference meet. That was the week that I first started it. We were looking for some extra points and just kind of little ways to try and hopefully win our conference meet.
That's amazing. So doing it for the first time your sophomore year in college, and then a few years later competing at the Olympic trials, that's quite a journey during that time.
It was definitely a surprise at first. I remember that day very vividly, and it's definitely one of my favorite memories of the event.
What are your most important lessons you think you've learned from track and field?
Um, one of the biggest lessons I've learned is that success isn't linear. Like there are so many ups and downs of training and competition, and just sometimes it's not going to be your day, but other times it is. So the idea of being able to persevere and just like carry on through those tough times to really finally reach your goal at the end was a big lesson for me. In my 4 years at Geneseo and then the last couple of years out, have been a big switch. So learning how to like ride those ups and downs of the roller coaster has been a learning experience for me. And then I think the other biggest lesson I've learned is just everything that goes on behind the scenes in order to be a high level athlete. Like there are so many different things you have to remember, like whether it be stretching or ice bath or going to get PT or just like working on your mental health and sleeping enough. Like all those little pieces make such a big impact on your training and what you end up doing on the track that day.
Those are definitely great lessons. How did COVID end up impacting your training and preparations for Olympic trials?
So COVID, the biggest hindrance for me was probably coming out of knee surgery in like February 2020. I had just started PT, and that's kind of when everything shut down. So I had like 2 or 3 weeks of PT, kind of getting back into biking and slowly getting off crutches and back to running. And all of a sudden, my rehab got canceled. So that was definitely a big roadblock in the way of just getting back into it, going into 2021 and hoping to qualify for the trials. outside of that, I was never one of those athletes that got like exiled from a track. Being an assistant coach at Nazareth, I have an outdoor facility that I can go to, and given the rules and regulations of the inside facility during COVID, I was able to utilize it a lot, which was very, very, I was very, very thankful for. So.
Yeah, so not only did you have training challenges, you're also trying to rehab from a knee surgery. When you can't get access to your therapist, that's an added struggle, I'm sure.
Yes, that was very frustrating also because I wanted to really get back into it. And I mean, having a full year of training is so beneficial for when you're trying to reach such a high goal.
Absolutely. Whether it be something you did in PT that you picked up, or you talked about your training programs, is there a favorite drill or tip that you would have for jumpers out there?
I mean, personally, because of all my hamstring stuff, I lean towards hamstring prehab and rehab. As far as jumping drill goes, I really like to use lift boxes just because it gives you a whole new perspective. And a lot of times you get the height or distance you're looking for without putting in as much effort going off the ground. So you can kind of have the outcome you're looking for and do it multiple times without getting super tired.
And I guess my last question would be, what advice would you give to a young jumper today, either long jump or triple jump?
My biggest piece of advice is just like have fun with it. Should be something that you enjoy doing, and it should really put a smile on your face. So if you're not having fun doing it, you should take a step back and think about like why you started. And also just like, don't be afraid to try new events. I mean, I never thought that triple jump would be my event, but just not putting yourself in a box and letting yourself try out different things is could be the thing that draws you back. Who knows?
That's great advice. So I want to say congratulations on behalf of USATF Niagara on qualifying and competing at the Olympic trials. And we wish you continued success, including next weekend at the Empire State Classic.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I loved getting to share my story with USATF Niagara.